Okay, so here is the skinny on purchasing travel insurance. Okay, so here are the WH questions of purchasing travel insurance. And when considering purchasing travel insurance, it is very important that you first understand why you need it. Okay, so now let's look at the reasons why one would choose to purchase travel insurance. And there are three basic reasons why you would want to choose to purchase travel insurance. Number one, the time frame in which you're going to take it. The further out your trip will be, the more likely or the best option would be to purchase travel insurance, because anything could happen. If you get sick, a loved one dies, anything could happen. You lose your job, you find out you can't get the time off that you thought you could get off, then you would want to get the travel insurance, because we don't know about the what ifs. Number two reason why you want to purchase travel insurance. If you have family and you are especially a solo adventurer, or you're a couples adventurer, but let's just say that only one of you brings home the bacon. Well, if this is your situation, then travel insurance does offer some benefits that could be very helpful in the event something happens to you. And number three, location. Let's face it, depending on where you go, there are definitely more possibilities that something could go wrong. So, in order to be prepared for that possibility, it's essential that you have travel insurance, because once again, if you get sick over there, if something happens to you and you die, well, now you've left an instant widow, or you have children who have no parents. So, depending on your lifestyle situation, then you would want to consider purchasing travel insurance for that purpose. Okay, so now that we've answered the whys of purchasing travel insurance, now we're going to talk about the why not purchase travel insurance. Okay, if you are going to be traveling within the next 2 or 3 months, the chances that you're not going to be able to get the time off, the chances that you're not going to be able to take your trip, that someone's going to die, or any of those parameters are less than likely, then travel insurance is not basically an essential. If you're concerned about losing your luggage, which is the main reason why a lot of people look into buying or purchasing travel insurance, then you do not need to purchase travel insurance for that purpose. Number one, most airlines will pay you or reimburse you for what you may lose or what they may lose for you. So you don't have to worry about figuring out how you're going to get reimbursed for whatever you stored away. So you don't need to purchase it for that purpose. You don't need to purchase it if you, again, with basically 100% surety that you're not going to get sick to a point where you can't go. Then go on ahead. Why spend the extra on the travel insurance? So now that we've discussed the whys and the why nots to purchasing travel insurance, let's talk about how to purchase travel insurance. Okay, so there are a couple of ways to purchase your travel insurance, and if you follow the critique, you know the resources that I use to find the most fabulous deals. And some of those resources, such as Expedia, gives you the option upon checkout to add travel insurance to your package. And I would encourage you to not get the travel insurance through Expedia. And this is the reason why I say that, because I have found in previous trips that I've taken that I've received better deals on insurance, depending on what, again, the purpose of the insurance is for you. So knowing what you're expecting the insurance to do is extremely important. You need to know if you need to have accidental death insurance, medical, if you're looking just for the trip reimbursement, knowing what the insurance is going to do and what you're wanting it to do is key to deciding which insurance or whether or not you should purchase insurance. So you need to know for yourself that before you actually take in a policy. So don't feel hurried or rushed, because they'll make it sound like, oh my goodness, if you don't get this insurance right now, then you're going to be out of luck. SOL. But guess what? That is not true, because just like Expedia sells tickets as a third party provider, there are other companies that sell insurance and that you can get travel insurance and quotes for travel insurance. So do not feel like you have lost your opportunity if you do not purchase the travel insurance right away. In fact, it is wiser for you not to. And this is because there are websites that gives you insurance instant quotes that will allow you to not only choose a more competitive insurance provider for your trip, but you can get a more flexible package for your policy that meets the needs that you're actually trying to get. So depending on what you're actually looking for, you can get exactly what you want. So I would encourage you to wait on that and just buy your tickets if you're getting it through Expedia, and then purchase your insurance later. Because the good news about insurance is that unlike Expedia will make it sound, you may not be able to get travel insurance through them again once you've secured your tickets, but you can get travel insurance through other providers separately. Just make sure you keep your policy and make sure you do your due diligence. I mean, you want to check the reviews, because if it sounds too good to be true, most of the time it is. And like Judge Melion would say, the cheap comes out expensive. So when you're talking about something that's like insurance, you want to make sure that if you need it, that it is going to be available for you. And you want to know what kind of hoops you may have to go through in order to get what you're looking for. So with that being stated, I think we covered the how to get insurance. And as you've seen listed directly for you, I have provided the website that you can go to that will help you to get an instant quote for your insurance options. Okay, so who should purchase travel insurance? Okay, so if you are young and free and you're a solo adventurer, you have no kids, you're just fresh out of college and you're just trying to find yourself somewhere internationally, well, let's just put it this way. Insurance may not be for you. Why spend the extra money? The main purpose for actually getting travel insurance is if you have a family. Let's say you have some kids somewhere who you are the sole breadwinner for. You want to make sure that even if you're not able to be present in their life, that your finances can be. So you want to be able to have that assurance that they're going to be provided for in the event something happens to you overseas. Now, if you are married and you have children and your children are old enough to actually provide for themselves, they're no longer a dependent of yours, they actually have their own families, then don't worry about it, especially if both you and your spouse works, because then even if something happens to one of you, the other one will be provided for because they work. Now, if you are in a situation, which this was near and dear to my heart, because, you know, I'm in a startup business and I'm not really making much money right now, even though I'm sharing valuable information for those who desire to travel in other arenas. But the bottom line is I get to eat because my husband works. So we like to travel, and sometimes we travel independently. Well, if I go to, let's say, Japan, and something happens to me, he's still going to eat tomorrow. Now, if he travels to Israel and I don't travel with him, and something happens to him, that could be questionable for me. So, as a result, if you're in a situation where you have a dependent, someone who depends on your income in order to survive, then it is just a responsible thing to do to make sure you have insurance that covers them in terms of an accidental death. Accidental death insurance can cover you either if something happens to the plane, on your plane trip, and let's say, poof, your plane disappears, or it flies into World Trade Center or something crazy like that, then your loved one doesn't lose both you and their home. So it's a wise thing to purchase in that instance. However, you want to make sure you get the right accidental death insurance. There's also accidental death insurance that covers you if something happens to you where you're going. Now, if you're going to someplace like Italy or you're going someplace like Japan, then you're probably going to be completely safe once you get over there, because it's not like it's a war zone or anything close to that. But if you're going to places that are a little bit more risky, where there is a greater potential for war to break out, let's say the Middle East, for instance, then you want to make sure that you have accidental death included with your travel insurance policy. Now, if you have insurance, life insurance, then just check your policy, because in most cases life insurance policies cover that. So then that's extra money that you can keep in your pocket. You may also want to get travel insurance if you're concerned about if something medically goes wrong with you. I mean, if your coverage only protects you in terms of medical or dental or vision or anything like that within the United States, then getting additional insurance to cover any medical emergencies that may occur would be a wise decision. Also, you may want to get it because unlike here in the US, where you can just get billed later and then make payments, they may require that you pay them up front if you go to a hospital overseas. The best thing to do if you're not sure and if that's something that is of a concern to you, if you feel like you may have a health issue, then it probably would be best to check what the rules and the policies are for foreign travelers using medical services in the country that you're planning to visit. Otherwise, it's a moot point. Insurance, if those are not concerns for you, are not needed. Finally, just a little recap. As we've discussed, we want to know when travel insurance is needed, necessary, or when we can totally just bypass it. And once again, there are certain things that's going to determine whether or not you need insurance or not. And these are the few things I want to say. Finally, just make sure that you know why you're purchasing travel insurance. Number 2, what that travel insurance is going to do for you. And number 3, be a smart shopper. You know, you didn't get this far. You didn't save this much money so that you can waste dollars on things that you don't need. So do your due diligence. Do your research. Don't be pressured into purchasing travel insurance with gimmicks that tell you, oh, this is your last chance. Don't worry about that. Buy your tickets. Do your research. Purchase your travel insurance separately. And also make sure that you check the reviews. I cannot say this strongly enough. You do not want to be in a situation where you purchase travel insurance and the provider that's backing you is not credible. You have in every arena hoodwinkers and people who are not operating off of integrity. And you want to make sure that whoever is going to be backing you in the event something happens, that they are reliable. So do your research, find out what you're needing travel insurance for, find out, know whether or not travel insurance is even needed. If you're going to take this trip next week, don't even waste your money. If you're going to take this trip next year, then do your research. Number 3, most importantly, in fact, this trumps them all, have fun and travel, see the world. Shalom.